Batman number 16, written by Scott Snyder, art by Greg Capullo. This is, of course, Death of the Family. And I'm going to move pretty quick through this one because I also have to cover the backup story because it isn't going to make sense to delay it to a later date. So Batman in the last issue was going to Arkham because he figured that's where Joker is. And we pick up this issue with Joker making a bunch of comments about dancing and like, oh yeah, so I'll let you lead, Batman. And Batman's narration just saying, don't listen to him. You've got the edge here. He wasn't expecting you this soon. And we're seeing a bunch of close-up shots, seemingly of Batman dancing with the Joker. But then on the next page, we get the reveal that it's actually a bunch of Arkham guards who are trapped in cells, dressed up like Batman and the Joker, and Batman has been forcing them to dance for days. And they have water at their feet in this cell, and if they stop dancing, Joker will electrocute them and kill them. And Batman is like, all right, it's tempered glass. There's steel netting in between, so even if I break the glass, I can't get them out. Gonna have to figure this out. And Joker's like, hey, Batman, just letting you know, if you stop them from dancing, I am going to absolutely kill them. And at that point, Batman presses a button on his belt, causes an EMP pulse, and Joker's like, oh, I knew you'd do that, but I was waiting on it. The backup generators literally will only take a second. And he turned on backup generators, and immediately he is ready to zap the dancers. But it turns out that in the intervening seconds of darkness, Batman broke the glass on all the cells and tossed in some absorbent balls, is the best way I could say it, to get all the water out of the cells. And then he just starts moving forward. And that's really most of this issue, is Batman just getting past all of Joker's stupid little stunts to get to him. So as he's making his way down this hallway, he sees a flaming horse start trampling after him. And Joker's like, oh, hey, you're in the stables, huh? Well, now you get to do a little bit of sparring. And all the lights kick on. And we see a bunch of inmates from Gotham, or from Arkham, dressed up in like riot guard gear. And they all have like flaming sticks and swords and whatnot. So they all start attacking Batman, and Batman just knocks them all out. And keeping in the theme of horses, one starts coming at him on horseback, and Batman just punches the horse in the head, throws the guy off, and then hops on the horse as well, because why not? So then he moves into the next room, where Joker has invited Dollmaker to take a whole bunch of people and stitch them together alive, and they are still alive, into a living tapestry where Joker has drawn some of their classic encounters, such as Joker's laughing fish and the death of Robin. And he's just like, Jesus, man, this is a lot even for you, Joker. And all the bodies start chanting, Hail the Bat King. So then he's like, all right, whatever. He figures he has to be up in Jeremiah Arkham's personal quarters. That's probably where the Joker's watching over everything. So he starts making his way up the stairs. First, he encounters Mr. Freeze, who, in the tradition of hurting these horses, freezes the horse and then bashes his head, causing it to break into a million pieces. Batman immediately takes out Freeze by putting a heat bomb on his chest and saying, like, if you don't move, it won't melt through your chest. Then we encounter Jim Gordon shirtless on the stairs. He holds a gun to Batman's head saying, that's enough. Batman just twists his arm and throws him down the stairs a little bit. Turns out it was Clayface. And he just, as Clayface is like, all right, you want to rumble? Let's rumble. Batman just tases him. And also, I do want to point out that Joker is equating all of these to positions in like a royal court sort of thing. So Clayface is like the theatrical genius, the royal player. Freeze is the groundskeeper. He runs into Scarecrow next, who's the physician, and he starts using his fear toxin. Batman just punches him in the mouth and has a rebreather on him already, so he's fine. And he makes his way up to the final door, and he's like, oh, well, Batman, I didn't expect you to get here this soon. Can you just wait for a second? We're still kind of setting up. And Batman sets some C4 on the door, blows it off, and he starts pushing his way in. Turns out that they barricaded the door. Batman's still able to see inside, though, and he sees Penguin, Riddler, and Two-Face standing at attention like royal guards. Joker wearing a jester hat guarding the throne, and then 4 guards of Arkham dressed up like Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Superman, and Aquaman. So then Joker's like, hey, hope you like what I did with the place. It's a throne for the Bat King, and I've brought everyone in. Everyone that's part of your close family. Penguin, the man of the cloth, because the religion of Gotham is crime. Riddler, the strategist, who keeps your mind sharp. And Two-Face, the judge, because why not? And of course, Joker plays the jester. And then he's like, oh, but I also brought all of your friends. Let's see if they are suitable to take the place of king or queen, and we'll see if they're able to do it. And he takes the one dressed up as Superman and walks him over to a chainsaw that is buried in a rock, but it has jumper cables set up to it, so if he grabs it, he will be electrocuted. So, but apparently it turns on and off randomly. So he grabs it, he's immediately electrocuted and killed. And Batman's like, I am going to get you for that. And Joker's like, well, let's see if Wonder Woman has what it takes. And she goes to step up to do it. And Batman, he just lunges at the door one last time, pushes all his stuff out of the way, and starts coming after Joker. Joker drops down a barricade so that they can get to it. It's just a bunch of iron bars. But Batman uses a batarang to cut the jumper cables, so they aren't going to murder anybody else anymore. And then Joker's like hides behind Wonder Woman. He's like, all right, well, see if your aim is any good. See if I'm not going to move her into the spot. And Batman's like, I'm not going to throw anything. I'm just going to sit here and wait for the police. You've literally all trapped yourselves. And Batman then is shown a wall of monitors that immediately tune into all the Death of the Family tie-ins, where his entire family is being beaten up and attacked by the Joker, and he's just like, oh god, they all got involved, didn't they? All right, what do you need me to do, Joker? And he's like, I just want you to sit on your throne. But rather than the elaborate throne he pointed out before, he points over to the side of the room where there's an electric chair, and he's like, go ahead, sit down. It's all you got to do, and I'll let these people go. And he's just like, I don't trust you, but I literally have no other choice here. So he goes up and he sits down in the electric chair. He turns on the current, and that's where the issue ends. However, we do have the backup story written by James Tynion IV and Scott Snyder, art by Jock, which basically just picks up right afterwards. Riddler, Penguin, and Two-Face are like, oh my god, did he kill Batman? And Two-Face is like, well, probably not, but let's make sure of it. And he goes to flip his coin to see if he shoots Batman in the head or in the gut. But then Joker's like, no. You aren't a part of this next bit. I'm going to go ahead and take him away, but you guys have played your part. Go on, do whatever else you want. And they're like, no, we're in this now. We want to see Batman die. We want to see what happens here. We're a part of this. It's our right as part of his rogues gallery. And Joker just laughs at that, telling him like, you guys aren't important. Two-Face, I didn't even have an issue with you. And do you know why? It's because you're lame. You're literally just a dude who got a bit of acid on his face. And now you play a wannabe gangster. You suck, Two-Face. And I'm going to prove it. And he hands over Two-Face with a gun with one bullet. Or sorry, a gun, I think it's fully loaded in it. And he's like, here's the deal, Two-Face. You can either shoot me, or you can shoot the other rogues, or you can shoot Batman. I don't care. But you're not going to do any of that, because you suck. And wouldn't you know it, Two-Face is broken, and he just lets Joker go. And Penguin steps up, and he's like, hey, all right, I can give you money. I know you're not interested in that, but can you at least tell us what's going on here? Like, what is the plan that you're doing? And Joker's like, yeah, here's what I'm planning. And he pulls out a serving dish and he takes off the lid, and we don't get to see what's inside, but they're like, oh my god, you're doing that? And he's like, yep, and it's all part of the big joke. So let's see how it goes. And we will conclude this entire event next issue in Batman 17. So I like it. I like both parts of it. I think they're both good. What does Scott Snyder have against horses? That was 3 horses that were abused or killed. I don't get that bit. Overall, though, it was just a good little journey. It set up, okay, all these backups have been leading to Joker doing something big in Arkham. This feels more like the culmination of the backups than it does the culmination of what needed to happen in Death of the Family. Like, it was pretty much just a Death of the Family tie-in story, but in Batman proper. So it's okay in that regard. I don't think it does too much to forward the story except get Batman where he needs to be for the finale, which is in Joker's clutches and knowing that the rest of the family is in trouble. So overall, I'm going to give this one I'll give it a 7. It's close to a 7.5, but I'm giving it a 7 just because it was such a just A to B issue. Yes, it had some crazy visuals. Yes, it did some cool stuff, but it didn't feel as significant as other issues in this plot. So, yeah, there's that. And as for the backup, I mean, the backup was perfectly fine on its own, but it's not great compared to the main story. So I give that one like a 6 because it's just saying like, hey, here's why the Rogues let Batman and the Joker go. So, yeah, 6 for that and 7 for the main issue.